Hi everyone, my name is Sujata. Today we're going to do some stretches and some exercises pertaining to your upper back, your arms, your fingers. Maybe would help with finger stretches, wrist stretches, carpal tunnel to avoid carpal tunnel syndrome, that sort of thing. Quite a few of us are stuck at desks working on computers, and slowly we start to hunch up. We take a lot of tension on our upper backs. So let's try and relieve it a bit. For today's practice, we will need some sort of either a yoga belt, or if you don't have a yoga belt, no problems at all. Just use a scarf or a shawl or something that can be stretched. Yeah? A strong scarf. Right, so let's begin. We'll do some warm-ups first. So let's just begin by just shaking our fingers and loosening them. Just keep going. And now from the elbow upwards, I'm going to stand up, because that just allows us a bit of space to work on. So I'm just shaking the whole of my hand, elbow downwards. A couple more. And now starting to use our shoulders. Shrug your shoulders up and shake them out. Okay, come to stillness straight away. Hopefully you'll start to notice some changes. You'll notice some tingling. Give a second or two to just notice those changes. Now let's take feet hip distance apart and just swaying from side to side, knocking those arms on either side of your hip. So just warming up the whole of our spine. So throughout the practice and every session, easy breathing. All of the sessions that we do, if there is any sharp shooting pain, just stop. If there is discomfort, severe discomfort, then go down to a level that I've said is a slightly easier option, or just completely skip it again. People, especially with spondylitis, any spinal issues, only under medical guidance should you be doing these practices. Fantastic. And now let's do some hip rotations. So feet are still roughly hip distance apart, or slightly maybe wider than hip distance apart, and just doing circles. Now, this is the first thing in the morning for you. Then keep these circles shallower, or you can go to a bigger, larger diameter. Change direction. Wonderful. And now let's come down onto our mats. We'll come in onto all fours. So palms underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. And we'll just do the cow action and the cat action. So tailbone out, stretching the whole of your spine, looking up. And then the cat action. So rounding your back, taking your tailbone in, chin towards your chest. Breathe in, stretch. Breathe out, round. Breathe in, stretch, tailbone out, trying to section each part of your spine as you stretch out. And then starting by rounding your tailbone, your mid back, your upper back. Lastly, chin down. One more round. And round, and press the floor away from you. Fantastic. Coming into a neutral posture, sitting back, And we'll still do one last warm up before we begin with our finger, arm, and upper body stretches. So we'll begin by just bringing our elbows together, rounding your back. So let me just show you the sideway profile. So elbows together, rounding your back, tucking your chin, feeling those shoulder blades spread out. And then taking your hands into cactus arms, puffing up your chest, looking up. Breathe out, round. Breathe in, stretch. Breathe out, round. Breathe in, stretch. One last round. Breathe out, round. Breathe in, stretch. Fantastic. Coming to a neutral posture. So you can sit in any posture, be it cross-legged or in Vajrasana, any posture is fine. You can spread your legs out. You can even sit in a sofa or a chair or something like that to do this part. We'll start by stretching our fingers. So I'm going to flex my left palm. I'm going to use my right hand to hold onto the fingers and gently press those fingers back, and we're going to hold. Release, and now we're going to change the angle of the wrist. So you're going to change this angle inwards, and I'm going to press those fingers in. Release, doing the same with changing the angle outward. Now, throughout these stretches, try and keep your elbow as straight as possible, or even a gently locked elbow is great. So trying to engage all of those fingers, and stretch. Very good. Now we're going to make a gentle fist. Again, using your right hand on your left fist, gently pushing that fist downwards. Release. Same sort of thing that we did with the fingers stretched out. So the fist goes, angle changes inwards, and gently tugging it in. And changing that angle outwards and tugging that fist in. Your elbow is straight. Fantastic. Release, maybe giving your hands a bit of a shake. Okay, swapping hands. So working on my right hand now, flexing the right wrist, using my left hand to gently tug on those fingers backwards, keeping my right elbow nice and straight, locked in. Release, changing the angle inwards, and again, gently pressing those fingers back. Release, changing the angle outwards and gently tugging all of those fingers back. Wonderful. Release. And now we'll do the same fist actions. So gently, a gentle fist, using my left hand to tug that fist downwards. Changing the angle inwards, gentle tug. Changing the angle outwards, gentle tug. Keeping that right elbow straight. Fantastic. Giving your right hand a bit of a shake. Okay, of course, we've done all the fingers, but not the thumbs. So we're going to take those thumbs at the back of your waist, and then we're going to flare out all of these fingers so your thumb gets a good stretch as well. Wonderful. Release, give your hands a shake. Okay, from here, we're going to maybe come up onto all fours. So we're going to flex those wrists, take those fingers inwards, and a gentle pressure on the palms. Now, if this is going well, then you can sit down. Maybe the heels of your palms lift, but that's no problem. So you're just getting a bigger stretch throughout the inner part of both of your hands. If it's too intense, just release out. Yeah? Or completely skip. All the practices are completely optional. Wonderful. Release, give your hands a bit of a shake, and we'll move on to the work with the yoga belt. So, taking this belt, the distance between your hands is comfortable enough for you to bring your hands overhead. And then we're going to gently push back, keeping both ends tugged. Keep pushing. You'll start to feel a stretch, some sort of a sensation around your arms, wrists maybe. So if taking your hands behind your head, so like so, is difficult, then keep your hands level. Yeah, just working with your own capacity. And then from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my right hand forwards and I'm going to dip down with my left hand back. So you may need to increase the distance between the both hands and then releasing my left hand behind me and pulling with my right hand upwards. So keep tugging on both ends. Fantastic. You're going to change the direction. So releasing the right hand behind, left hand goes up, elbows are nice and straight, and I'm pulling on that belt as if you want to pull that belt apart. Fantastic. Okay, so one last bit with the belt, and then we'll move on to other stuff. So I'm going to take one end of the belt overhead. So my right hand is up, my right hand has the belt. I'm going to bend in my right elbow, and then I'm going to grab the other end or part of the belt with my left hand. And I'm just going to quickly show you at the back what's happening. So I'm grabbing the other end. And all we're going to do is we're going to do this flossing action. So I'm going to pull with my right hand, pull with my left hand, pull, right, pull, left. If this is too intense, then increase the distance on that belt. And you can do the same. So this is increasing the flexibility, but also strengthening. Fantastic. Release, we're going to swap hands. So belt is in my left hand. I'm bending my left elbow, taking that belt back, and then I'm bending from the bottom, my right hand, and then we do that flossing action again. Wonderful. Release. Let's give our hands a bit of a rest. So let's just go into the child's pose, coming onto all fours, sitting back on your heels, stretching your arms out, and just let go. Letting your arms become heavy. Just resting your arms. Fantastic. Coming onto all fours. From here, we're going to go into Anahat Asana or the happy puppy. So walking your hands further up on the mat, we're going to release our chest down, chin down, or forehead down, whatever's easier, and hold. And you'll straight away feel a stretch, the space between your shoulder blades. So you can stay here or see if you can slightly widen the distance between your palms. And again, your chin or your forehead is on the mat. Trying to pull your hips backwards, creating that stretch between your shoulder blades. If this is too intense again, just go back to the original position. So taking your arms and hands parallel to each other. Very good. Coming onto all fours. And from here, what I want us to do is happy puppy. So lift your hips up, walk your elbows to a distance that's comfortable for you. So the further you take your elbows away, bigger the stretch. And release your head on your arms. Releasing those hips backwards. Wonderful. Coming out of this posture, we're going to lie down on our stomachs now. Bring the whole of our torso down. So your chin can be down or your forehead can be down. Your arms are in this cactus shape. And then once you get comfortable, we're going to just lift up our hands, our elbows stay on the ground. And release. Up, release. Up, release. A few more times. And now same sort of action, but you're going to lift up the whole of our hand, including your elbows. So up, release. Up, release. 3, release. 4, release. 5, release. 6, 7, 8, 9. And the last one, 10, release. Okay, same sort of movements, but we're going to straighten our right hand up. I'm going to take my left hand by the side of me. You can't see my left hand, but my palm is facing downwards and my left hand is down by the side of my body. And now we're going to again lift up both of our hands. Lift, release, 2, release, 3, release, 4, release, 5, release, 6, 7, 8, 9, and last one, 10. Okay, swapping your hands. So my left hand goes in the front. My right hand comes by the side of my body. Palms are facing downwards, chin or forehead on the mat. And then lifting, release, lift, release, lift, release, and lift, release. 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. Very, very good. Okay, so from here, we're going to do what is called the broken wing pose. So I'm going to stretch my right hand out on the side, and then I'm going to sort of turn my body over so that you're turning onto this right hand. The head stays down. Your legs can be just stacked on top of each other, or you can lift this left leg and stamp the foot behind you. And hold. Okay, rolling back onto your stomach. We're going to do the same thing again, but we're going to change the angle. So we're going to take this hand 45 degrees and we're going to roll over onto that right side again. So if this feels too intense, just go back to the earlier stretch of taking your hand by the side. If this is going, if you are feeling the stretch but going okay, then great. Of course, feel free to adjust that angle for a better stretch at whichever angle that you get the stretch the best. Again, you can keep your legs just stacked, or you can lift your left leg and stamp that foot behind you somewhere. Wonderful. Coming back to center, doing the same on the other side. So my left hand is straight by the side of my body. I'm going to roll back onto that left hand, breaking my other wing. You can either keep your legs stacked or lift that right foot, stamp it behind you. Hold. Feeling free to close your eyes down. Breathing through the area that you're feeling the stretch on. Coming back to center. Changing the angle on that leg like before. And then leaning onto that left hand. From coming back to center. And then from here, we're going to sit up. So sitting up, spreading your arms out. We're going to take our palms are facing downwards. We're going to start to make small circles. My elbows are nice and straight. Change direction. Fantastic. Coming to a stop, we're going to make fists. My thumb is pointing upward on both the hands. You're going to rotate the arm inward and outward, inward and outward, inward, outward. Last round, inward, outward, release. So we're going to imagine we are pushing into a wall in the front, so flexing our palms at our wrist again, like we were doing before when we did those finger stretches. Bringing those palms in and stretching upwards, so you're pushing into the ceiling. Nice and strong. Release, and we're going to be pushing sideways. If this is too intense, a tiny bend in your elbows. But if you can manage, then keeping your elbows nice and straight. And release. Okay. One more sort of finger movement that we can do here. So we're going to bring our hands up and we're going to do this twirling action with our wrists and your fingers. So start to really roll each of those fingers and those wrists and slowly doing that same sort of action, bringing those arms sideways, slowly downwards, twirling each of your finger. You might be mistaken that we're in a Bollywood dancing class, but even dancing has its flexible benefits, of course, other than just the joy of dancing. Fantastic. And as everybody knows, you now need to go the other way. So try to involve each of your finger when you're doing this twirling action. Your elbows can be slightly bent. The focus is the fingers and the wrist rather than your elbows and your arms. Fantastic. So from here, palms facing up, taking the tops of your hands on your head, push, down, push, down, push. Big circle of arms and release. If you can, you're sitting in the Vajrasana, but any posture again is okay. Sitting posture, I just need your spine to be straight. Intertwining your fingers behind your back. So trying to touch the heels of your hands together, and you're going to start to straighten those hands, straighten the elbows, hold. So feeling the stretch on the front of your shoulder now. Okay, see if you can lift the clasp away from the mat as high as you can comfortably go and hold. And now, very last thing that you can do is you can release your chin downwards. If this is too much, no problems to completely skip this chin going downwards business. Releasing your shoulders down, but keeping that clasp up. Release the clasp down, straighten your head. From here, still keep that clasp with your hands. You're going to take the clasp at the left of your waist. You're going to tuck that left elbow inwards and hold. Still keeping that action with your hands, see if you can release your left ear to your left shoulder. Straightening your head, taking that clasp on the other side of your waist, tucking that right elbow in, hold. And see if you can release your right ear towards your right shoulder. So after all that arm and shoulder work that we did, this should feel pretty good. Straightening your head, releasing that clasp. We'll end up with doing some neck rotations and then we'll lie down in Shavasana. Before that, let's just quickly do a shoulder rotation and then we'll do the neck rotation. So taking your shoulders up towards your ears and release them down. Up towards your ears, release them down. Up towards your ears, shoulders go back, releasing them to the side, come to the front and up towards your ears, changing the direction, coming forwards, releasing them on the side, taking them backwards and lifting them up, release. Okay, one last slow neck circle on each side. So releasing your left ear to your left shoulder, let go. Trying to press this right shoulder away from your right ear, creating space on that side. Feel free to close your eyes down for this. Taking your chin down towards your chest and let go. Taking your right ear towards your right shoulder, let go of your head. Releasing, pressing this left shoulder away from your left ear. And lastly, only if you can, if you want to, you can release the back of your head behind you. So while you're looking up, let's just quickly include a jaw stretch as well. So open your mouth wide and press your mouth close. And that will feel a stretch on the outer, on the throat area. Ah. Close one last time, big ah and close. Okay, moving on with our circle. So left ear goes towards the left shoulder again to complete our circle. We'll go the other direction. So the back of your head goes to the back. Right ear on right shoulder. Chin towards your chest. Left ear to your left shoulder. And straighten. Okay, that finishes our stretching routine. We're going to lie down on our mats, stretch your legs out, keep some distance between your feet, palms facing up, and trying to release, let go of your legs, your feet. Let go of your hips. Let go of your shoulders, your arms, your hands, especially your arms, hands, and your shoulders. They've done a lot of work today. softening your face, releasing your jaw, releasing your tongue to the bottom of your mouth. Closing your eyes down if you haven't got them closed already. Noticing your breathing. Noticing the cool air as you breathe in and the warm air as you breathe out. Just letting the whole of your body melt to the ground. If you have some more time, feel free to keep resting in the Shavasana for maybe 2 to 5 minutes longer. If you need to get up and get going, then wriggling your fingers and your feet, toes, coming to one side and sitting up. Maybe rubbing your hands together. Resting your palms on your eyes. And thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for making time and space for yourself to practice with me. I'm hoping to put out at least one session every week. So do join me for each of these sessions. These can be, of course, done at your own convenience in your own homes. And if you've liked all of this and to support me, please do subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much.